LucasArts shutting down for good. Another video purchasing service. Best Buy discounts iPad 3s and more on today's edition of iWake. Today is Thursday, April 4th, 2013, and I'm Tim Chaten. Welcome to today's Apple News. So, I'm back for another edition of iWake, and today there's some good news, some bad news. So, let's start with the bad news, and this is pretty devastating for me personally, and that is LucasArts. Disney has announced that LucasArts, the gaming division of Lucasfilm, is closing down, laying off 150 workers in the process. So LucasArts had its heyday, I think, back in the N64 days, when they had Episode 1 Racer, they had Rogue Squadron, they had all of these fantastic games, Battle for Naboo. These are games that really defined the N64 and made it what it was for me. These are the games I played. And since then, they've kind of fallen off the wayside and haven't done really much of anything. And I was hopeful, and really hopeful, that once Disney would acquire it, that it would be back in the forefront of what it was a part of, what Disney was doing with Star Wars. As gaming is a huge part of the Star Wars experience. And I was hopeful, really hopeful, that we'd have iOS versions of, Rogue Squadron. But that is not the case. This is according to Disney here. After evaluating our position in the gaming market, we've decided to shift LucasArts from an internal development to a licensing model, minimizing the company's risk while achieving a broader portfolio of quality Star Wars games. As a result of the change, we've had layoffs across the organization. We are incredibly appreciative and proud of the talented teams who have been developing our new titles. So, yeah, it's becoming a licensing thing. And it's not clear to me if the name of Rogue Squadron can live on in this new arena. And I hope it can, but I'm not sure. So this is definitely a sad day for gaming and Star Wars fans all around. Next up, Best Buy has put on clearance the iPad 3. So if you want an iPad 3, they now start at $315. That's right, $315. I think the normal price at Best Buy right now is $450. But a good price there if you are looking to get an iPad 3. Best Buy is your best bet. Next up today is Rdio. They have launched a video service called Video, VDIO. So this is a service kind of similar to iTunes. You buy movies and you can stream them to your iOS device. Or play them back via the web. The iOS device can AirPlay it to your Apple TV. So it is not a subscription. It is a paid per view model where you actually buy content or rent content. So movie rental costing $5, similar to that of movies in iTunes. There is the ability to buy movies just like in iTunes. The interface looks nice. RDO subscribers with premium unlimited accounts will be offered a free 25 gift card certificate for the service, as will people who subscribe within the next 60 days to kind of try it out. The iPad app can be downloaded from the App Store for free. So this is something intriguing. Competition is great. I love to see competition. It's great that there's all sorts of services out there. I'm not sure if this one will stand the test of time. I'm not sure if this one will survive, will be alive in the next year, right? Why would someone choose this over Amazon, over iTunes? I don't see it. I really don't see why, unless people just don't want the big company to succeed and be that. But for me, I'm sticking with iTunes. That's where I've chosen to have my library. I know there's a lot of Amazon fans that want that to be their place. Who is the market for this? That's my big question for this all. So, interesting service there, Video, by the Rdio folks. Now, while Best Buy is discounting the iPad 3, Walmart has discounted the iPad Mini. You can get a 16GB Wi-Fi iPad Mini from Walmart for $299. This is the same price as Apple sells the refurbished models of those units. This does not lead me to believe that an iPad Mini 2 is on the way anytime soon, but it is just interesting that Walmart is discounting something that I don't think they make a lot of profit off of when they do this kind of thing. So kind of interesting news there. If you want an iPad, now is a good time to get them for discount. Next up, Tesla Model S. This is a car that many people are desiring. This is an all-electric car. They've announced a new leasing model, kind of different from your typical model. So, U.S. Bank and Wells Fargo have agreed to provide 10% down financing for purchase of a Model S on approved credit. The 10% down payment is covered or more than covered by U.S. federal and state tax credits, ranging from $7,500 to $15,000. When considering the savings from using electricity instead of gasoline, depreciation benefits, and other factors, the true net out-of-pocket cost to own a mid-range Model S drops to less than $500 per month. So you're looking at around $500 per month for this lease. Rather expensive, I'd say. After 36 months, you have the right but not the obligation to sell your Model S to Tesla for the same residual value percentage as the iconic Mercedes S-Class, one of the finest premium sedans in the world. Not only is Tesla guaranteeing that resale value, but Tesla's CEO is personally standing behind that guarantee to give customers absolute peace of mind about the value of the asset they are purchasing. So that is kind of the bullet points there. Really interesting news there from Tesla. I'm really intrigued by electric cars. I don't think they're quite ready for prime time, but certainly something to keep your eye on. Next up, Instagram's blog has made a post. We are now 1 year into Instagram with Android. And wow, that has been a fast year. It feels like only yesterday that Instagram came to Android. What's interesting here is that half of Instagram users are now Android users. So within a year, it's already spread to half the user base. More information about this on the Instagram blog, linked in the show notes. Next up today is that of Twitter for iOS. It got updated with support for new in-app install and launching of these new cards. I'm not going to go into the details there, except to say that's what got added. Details in the show notes for those interested. Next up, SkyDrive 3.0 has hit the App Store. This is an iOS app that got delayed because Microsoft couldn't figure out how to work out in-app purchases while retaining all the money they wanted to. So they've reworked it to go out to the web browser. They've updated to support iPhone 5 and iPad mini with this update. You can download full resolution photos to your device with this update. It's improved support for opening SkyDrive files and other iOS apps, improved support for uploading files to SkyDrive from other iOS apps, and updated the app icons and visuals and some bug fixes. So pretty cool update there for those SkyDrive users that use an iOS device. Next up today is that of Amazon. So Amazon has done a couple of interesting things. First up, they've announced auto rip for vinyl. So if you're buying records, who does that these days, but I hear they're on the uptick. If you're still buying vinyls, many of these are now eligible for auto rip. Purchases back to 1998 are eligible for auto rip. Auto rip is Amazon's thing where if you buy a CD or now a vinyl, that MP3 is now instantly available to you in the cloud locker. Pretty cool stuff there. Meanwhile, Amazon has introduced Cloud Drive File Sync for OS X. More details about that in the show notes. Meanwhile, LoadSys has sued Disney's Where's My Water app for the in-app purchase thing. Now, I'm really excited about this lawsuit. Why am I excited? Because LoadSys has been making a lot of profits off of these poor app developers. And Disney is a company I feel that will fight this, as this is a ridiculous lawsuit that's harmed many developers, and hopefully Disney can take them on and crush them in court. Next up today, AT&T has expanded its LTE coverage to 14 new locations. Locations include Arkansas, Fort Smith, Arkansas, Fresno, California, Palm Beach, Florida, or Palm Coast, Florida. Lots of other locations in Florida. basically, as I'm looking over this list, a bunch of really small cities. Nothing too big here, but yeah, show notes there for those that want the actual cities that were announced. I'm not going to go into all of those, as nothing that really caught my eye as being a big place. Next up is that of the Echo 15 by Sonnet. So this is a Thunderbolt dock I wanted to point out. This Thunderbolt dock includes a Blu-ray player, a 2TB hard drive, and numerous ports. So if you're looking for a Thunderbolt dock, this seems to be a really cool solution. It's around $500, I believe. It looks like a little Mac Mini as far as the size of it, but includes all these great ports, and as I said, it's an external hard drive as well, and it's an external Blu-ray player. This is a really cool product, so link in the show notes for that. And last up today is the Jambox has got an update. That's right, you can actually update your Jambox's software. So if you have one of those big Jamboxes, they have an update to their software that enables some pretty cool thing. They've improved the streaming capability for AAC files. If you're streaming from an iOS device 6.1 or later, you get this wonderful new streaming capability. It's got, I believe, 2 hours better playback time, so they've improved battery life with just a software update. So if you're a Jambox owner, go out and update. Link in the show notes for more information. And with that said, that'll do us for today's episode of iWake. You can find the show notes at iWakePodcast.com. You can find the YouTube version at youtube.com/TCHATEN. And I have written many books. iPod Evolution is one of those books. Search for iPod Evolution in the iBookstore and support me in the process. It's about a 300-page book all about the iPod. So with that said, thanks for tuning in to today's episode of iWake. I will talk to everyone again real soon.